So this is how the printer looks like when you're not using it. You've got the build plate right there, and this little nozzle right there will tighten it. And you have 4 little screws on either side. They have to be calibrated every time you do a print. If you don't, then the build plate, as it goes down to the screen down here, it might not be parallel to it. So that's why you got to calibrate it every single time. So here's where the file is on the little USB drive. And then when you calibrate, you got to use a little wrench right here. And it's the biggest one right here. You don't want to lose these because they're hard to get. And you take the lid off. Put it over here. And I have this towel over the, or piece of paper or whatever, cover over the vat because there's resin inside there, and that resin is light activated. Obviously you don't want it to cure. There's a fine film screen underneath there. That is where the LCD screen prints the image. So what I want to do, put that down because I want to protect the, there's a film called a FEP film underneath this vat, underneath the vat, and that FEP film is the key ingredient of how this all works. And so don't just set this vat down on an item that can like damage it. So make sure you keep that safe there. And then this is the LCD screen, and keep that totally clean. If it's not clean, the print won't work. Sometimes there's resin on this build plate. If there is, just wipe it off. So we're gonna go through here, and we're gonna hit Tools, and you go to Z Calibration. The Z axis is the up and down axis right here. So you're gonna go through and hit Z Calibration. It tells you what to do. It says remove the resin vat, which is that container with the resin. Place an A4 paper on the LCD screen, which is this, just a piece of printer paper. And loosen all 4 screws on the sides of the building plate. So these are the 4 screws right here. So all 4 screws. And see how that's kind of loose? You want to make sure this is tightened down nice and tight. Because if you calibrate it and it's loose, and then you tighten it, then it's not calibrated anymore. So make sure this is tight. Make sure it's pushed all the way back and tighten it. And then you're going to unwind these. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, cool. Now this can move around freely. So then you go ahead and hit next. And this will go through and see how this Z-axis, the little column, is going to move down. And basically it's going to lay flat against that screen so it's perfectly in line or parallel to it. And then once that's done, I'll tighten the screws right here in a star fashion. So this one, this one, this one, this one. That way I make sure it's nice and steady. You got to do this every time you do a print, because when you take this out and you mess with it to get the prints off, it's messed up again. So you got to recalibrate. Every time you print, you got to calibrate. Easy peasy though. It's kind of slow going, which is nice. Gives you time to make sure you're doing it right. So now it's resting there. Okay. So now I'm gonna go through and tighten the screw. Righty-tighty, pretty darn, not super tight, but snug. Over here, same thing. Snug. Snug. And snug, like that. Okay. And then you go down here. It says tighten 4 screws. Make sure paper is unmovable. Click done to finish calibration. Done. You take this out. And then I just kind of put it like somewhere there. Now you're ready to print. So what you want to do is grab the cover. The cover is photoprotective, so it doesn't let the resin cure from the light. So you kind of hold that over the light and put this over like that. And you're going to grab this and carefully place it over here. So you'll see right here, there's little like alignment holes for the vat. Make sure those alignment holes match up with the vat, and it sets in right there. And you're good to go. Now, as you remove this paper towel, just go through and put the control over, or sorry, the light box over it. Now, I'm missing two little things right now. I'm missing two little screws that fasten the vat down to the printer. They go right here. So normally what you would do is you just tighten these screws in, put the screws and tighten them in, and you know, make them firm, and that's it. But I don't have those just yet. I'm missing those. Well, I'll get those and update the video. But anyway, so that's ready to go. Now you're going to stick the USB drive back here. It's already been loaded with the files. So you want to make sure that you put it in correctly, like that. And by correctly, I mean there's a thick end and an open end. Same thing on that. They got to correspond. Don't just force it. So if you can't get it in, you gotta. If I try to put it in like this, all the way around, it wouldn't fit. So you have to go through and put it like that. Okay, and then you hit the back arrow right here on the screen, and hit 3D print, and it brings up the file, and then you hit go. You're good to go.